Hey, it's me, and today I want to talk about a new law that's making headlines and could change the way the US fights the fentanyl crisis. On July 16, 2025, former President Donald Trump signed the HALT Fentanyl Act into law. It's getting attention from both sides of the aisle, and for good reason. Now, if you're not familiar, fentanyl is a synthetic opioid that's about 50 times stronger than heroin. It's behind a huge spike in overdose deaths. So bad that it's now the leading cause of death for Americans aged 18 to 44. The numbers are staggering. The CDC says opioids, especially synthetic ones like fentanyl, are responsible for most drug overdose deaths in the US. So, what does this new law do? Well, the HALT Fentanyl Act permanently classifies all fentanyl-related substances, what experts call analogs, as Schedule I drugs. That's the highest, most tightly controlled category under the Controlled Substances Act. In plain English, if someone's caught trafficking or even making these substances, they're looking at mandatory prison time. No more legal loopholes. Here's why that matters. Before this law, traffickers could tweak fentanyl's chemical structure just a little and basically dodge prosecution. It was a game of cat and mouse. Chemists in China and Mexico would make slightly different versions, and suddenly, they weren't technically illegal. Now, federal prosecutors have a much easier time locking up traffickers no matter how they try to skirt the rules. It's not just politicians in Washington who pushed for this. More than 24 Republican state attorneys general sent letters to Congress calling the bill vital to stopping what they called a cataclysmic surge in overdose deaths. South Carolina's attorney general said this law finally ends that endless cat and mouse game. And it isn't just talk. The DEA has already seized over 44 million fentanyl pills and more than 4,500 pounds of fentanyl powder just this year. There have been over 2,100 fentanyl-related arrests, so the crackdown is real. But not everyone's cheering. Some Democrats and groups like the Sentencing Project worry the law could go too far. They argue it might sweep up harmless substances and say tough policing isn't the answer to what's really a public health crisis. It's a real debate. Is the solution more punishment or more compassion and treatment? At the White House signing ceremony, there were state officials, families of overdose victims, and even immigration groups. One dad, Gregory Swan, spoke about his son Drew, who died from a fentanyl overdose after being prescribed painkillers for a sports injury. It's a reminder that this epidemic doesn't just happen to other people, it's hitting families everywhere. So what's next? The HALT Fentanyl Act is now law, and it's already changing how law enforcement and prosecutors go after traffickers. But the debate over how to actually solve America's opioid crisis is far from over. What do you think? Is this tough approach the way forward? Or do we need to focus more on treatment and prevention? Let me know in the comments, and if you want to stay updated on stories like this, don't forget to subscribe. Stay safe out there.